first hope is for so many parents.
Because I'm a business, you've known me for
Yes.
years and I've been running a lot of.
So Saima, walk us through your son's journey. So was he your firstborn? And
For me, my challenge was I had a boy, so they take a lot of your energy anyways.
but at this point, you still didn't have a formal diagnosis of gold stars.
Having another daughter, so I had to take all
But
my
only
family.
your middle son, the speech
learning.
delay,
Speech delay,
reading delay.
yeah, reading delay.
What's your biggest dream for your son? Grades and medals and trophies and leadership. Assalamualaikum everybody and welcome back to Podcast with Ammi. Today I'm here with a really special guest, Saima Chaudary. She's recently opened up the First Hope Center in Lahore, Pakistan with another partner, and the First Hope is for so many parents struggling with special needs, ADHD, autism, sensory disorders, etc. Really, it's promising to provide them with that hope that they were looking at. So we're going to talk to Saima about her motivations, उनको ये ख्याल कैसे आया कि वो अमेरिका से पाकिस्तान आकर ये सेंटर बनाए, and a lot more. Hi Saima, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yes.
I've heard so much about you and your show, and that you bring so much, awareness in the community about different topics. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So Saima, when जब हम बात कर रहे थे before this podcast, you were telling me about how First Hope is not just a business venture for you. It's also like, part of a personal struggle. So tell us about that.
So, because I'm a business background,
Yes.
you've known me for
Yes.
years, and I've been running a lot of different businesses.
And
So
one of
this-
them is a jewelry business.
Yes. So this is not really a business for me. This is purposeful. It is mission driven, and that changes everything. Then your focus is completely different. You're not looking for revenue. You're looking for awareness, and you're looking for, make change in the society in a bigger picture. So I started for my own personal struggle, and I found a lot of obstacles where I needed help and I couldn't find it. So I had to move out of Pakistan. Unfortunately, a lot of people told me, you're a US citizen, what are you doing in Pakistan? You have a child who has learning delays, who has ADHD, you can get so many resources. And I was like, no, I will find, I would say I wasted 5 to 6 years of my child's best years because I wanted to stick around.
So Saima, walk us through your son's journey. So was he your firstborn, and आपको कैसे पता चला that your son has
He was
a
not my
diagnosis?
firstborn, he was my second-born. He came right after my firstborn.
Oh.
मुझे break नहीं मिली. I had children very late, 15 years after my marriage.
So how old were you? In your 30s?
I was in my 30s.
Which is not late by today's
I was in my late
medicine.
30s.
Okay, that's a little late.
So yes, very late. But when you're in that phase where you want to have children and you can't have children, you're just focused on wanting to have children.
Exactly.
And once you have children, you don't realize the challenges that comes with it, and you're not prepared. So for me, my challenge was I had a boy, and then I had another boy, and boys generally are, a different species.
Yes.
So they take a lot of your energy anyway. So with the first one, life was good. With the second one, it got harder. But as he grew, he was a bit delayed in his milestones. So
Like which milestones?
Like
Neck holding?
neck holding,
Walking.
crawling, then walking.
I thought
then
he was
not-
delayed in all of
Then
them.
not talking, at the time that kids start talking generally. So even for myself, for my family, everyone was like, every child has different milestones.
Yes.
Some start talking really late, some start talking early, so it's nothing to worry about.
And also, I feel that generally एक notion है पाकिस्तान में कि लड़के तो late करते हैं. Like I hear this a
yes,
lot.
I heard it a lot, but I was like, no.
There was something in your head that was
Because
telling you कि कुछ गड़बड़ है.
as a mother, you cannot deny your instincts.
Yes.
Your instincts always tell you, and you have to trust them. But for me, I didn't. I did not trust my instincts. I just relied on what everyone was saying. So first couple of years were like that. And then when he was quite older, when children start talking, when it becomes alarming, that's when I was in USA. I was visiting my
तब उसकी
family.
क्या age थी आपके बेटे की? 2
He
years?
was 3.
3, and he was still not talking.
He was non-verbal. He was using his sign, hands, gestures. Behavior was getting affected because he couldn't communicate. This is what happens. And, he started hitting, to get attention. So it started becoming an issue. So I was visiting US, my family, and someone suggested, why don't you try speech therapy? And I was like, okay. So I started doing some probing, like what is this? How do you go about it? How do you get things done? So I was there for summer, so I got him speech therapy, I got him enrolled, and they were like, with speech, you have to do occupational therapy. Then I had to learn, because my thing is I have to really study what I'm getting my child or myself into. So I had to do some research. So they said, it's brain and tongue and motor skills and everything is combined. It's like the whole process. So I was there, I ended up staying longer because I felt that the change was happening.
That's how you did?
Yes.
But at this point, you still didn't have a formal diagnosis for him?
I did. I went everywhere. It's hard when your children are younger. It is hard, and it's harder when you yourself are not aware and you're not educated. So for me, I was like, okay, let's just work on his speech. I did not really go into, I want to go to the psychologist and get his, I was more concerned about, is he physically okay? I was getting his MRIs done. As a mother, I tried whatever I knew in my knowledge to get help. Everything was clear. The neurologist said he's fine. There's nothing wrong with his brain. He's perfect. He's listening. He's comprehending. Everything is good. And I was like, why is he not talking? Why is it so hard for me to potty train him? Why is it so hard for me to, get him to do things? So anyway, once the speech therapy, I had to come back because, I was visiting.
Yeah.
So, but in 3 to 4 months, he started talking.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's when I realized that with
talking proper sentences?
No, he started talking proper sentences. He started saying 3 words, then the whole sentence. Of course, it wasn't perfect speech, but he started communicating, which for me was wow,
Like a miracle.
It was a miracle. I was like, this worked. So for me, that was a revolution. It opened a lot of windows for me. I was like, okay, with intervention, with therapy, I can get help for my son. So I had to come back because I was doing my business, my husband was here, family was here, my older son had school here, so I had to return. And I thought, everyone was like, there's a lot of speech therapists here, occupational therapists here, there's a lot of help here. At that time, he was still young.
He was about 3 now.
He was about 3. So I came back and I started searching for help. I came across a lot of obstacles. I couldn't find a speech therapist that I liked. I went from one place to another, to a third. It was hard. I couldn't find a school that would take him because he was ADHD, so he was hyper. He didn't have focus, so he wouldn't sit like other kids. Structured environment is very hard for these kids. And our schools are not equipped with the right tools to work with children who are hyper-focused.
Yes.
So and then COVID happened, during that time.
So by the time COVID happened, was he 5?
He was 4 or 5.
And he was still not in any school?
He was not.
And no therapies?
I was doing home therapies. I was paying out of pocket. I was trying to get different therapists to come to my house.
But you were still dissatisfied with the quality?
I was dissatisfied because I wasn't seeing results like I had seen
in the
US. COVID happened, then everything shifted to online. And for kids that are hyper-focused, so they can't sit, how can you make a child sit and work on a computer? So those 2 years was again wasted. I had No one could come in, no one could go out of the house, that year. It was hard, so he was pushed back a lot. And once things started opening up, he was already behind in academics and all the things.
Yeah.
So then schools wouldn't take him. They were like, oh, we don't have the programs, we cannot accommodate him. I tried doing private tutoring, it was a disaster. I tried to take him to centers, they were under-equipped, they were not up to the standard. My son was going to premium school, the older one, and for him, he was watching him, earn certificates and
Gold
awards
stars.
and being a part of taekwondo and thriving and making friends. And here's my son who is not getting into schools, who's not socially, because of his hyperactivity, he wasn't making any friends, and he was feeling his self-esteem was going down, and that was my biggest challenge. I wanted him to feel that he is amazing, because he is intelligent. If you meet him, you'll be like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's such an intelligent kid. So with children like him, that's the problem. Acceptance is not there mostly in our society and globally, because they walk, they talk, they look they're more intelligent than other. You just have to find the right tools to help them, and these are the kids who learn, they grow, and they thrive.
Yeah.
And that's the motto of the center that I've brought in. Learn, grow, thrive, because these are the kids that we are helping in this center. I couldn't find it here. I had to separate from, this town and take my kids to US.
So you took both your boys?
Took all three. I ended up having another daughter. So I had to take all
but
my
only
family.
your middle son is on the spectrum.
So at the end, I was desperate, I was disappointed, I was struggling, I was
probably very
physically
frustrated.
getting sick, frustrated. I was getting angry at random things. बहुत ज़्यादा challenges.
I know.
I just decided.
And it's the worst, because I think as a mother you feel so helpless. You're like, why can I not find what my son needs?
इतनी ज़्यादा recommendation के बाद मैंने उसको एक private tutoring करवाई. And the lady was, I'm not gonna name names.
Yeah, that's
she was, I have worked with kids with, worse challenges. I can work with him. I was like, oh, I finally found somebody. So I spent 6 months dropping. I would wait outside for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time, because, you have to take time with these kids. I would just go there, wait outside while he's studying. Then he got comfortable with it. I did not see improvement. So I was like, okay, I need to be patient, I need to see. एक दिन मैं छोड़ के गई, वापस आई, she wasn't there, he was left alone. उसने कोई दर्जी खाना खोला हुआ था और मेरा बच्चा अकेला बैठा हुआ था. And this is when I got comfortable and I used to leave him. I realized that he was not being catered to.
He was sitting alone in the room.
He was sitting alone with darzis and knocker, and there was no other kids. My son was alone. And I called her, I was like, where are you? She's like, oh, I had to go to the doctor. I'll be right back, I'll be right back. I was like scared that, is this the first time that happened? Did this happen a couple of times? That there were so many incidents that I had to face, which just made me like, okay, that's it, I'm done. I don't need to put my son through all of this, hurdles and difficulties. So I just picked up my family and I went to US.
Did your husband support that move?
Not really, but
yeah, I think it's always the mom who's a champion for her child.
Mil jayegi, help mil jayegi, but he did
you
not stop me. He did not stop. I was like, either you find it or let me do what I'm doing. So we went to Islamabad. We made an IEP plan for him, because wahan pe they said bring a IEP plan so that you can save time, because it will take a long time. So Islamabad mein I know some people, they were in education. They said कि यहाँ पे IEP plans बन रहे हैं international standard के. So we went there. सारा दिन उधर लगाया, which that IEP plan was not good. But I still made that and I took it to US. It was rejected. They had to. वहाँ पे भी it was a struggle because I did not know the system. I had to learn. I had to go through grants because you can't pay out of pocket.
I know it's a lot.
It's like crazy. It's $100 1 hour, $180 an hour for any session.
And you need like multiple sessions.
You need multiple
every
sessions.
day, yeah.
So you cannot pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
So you need to first get the diagnosis done. You have the diagnosis. You have to present it to the psychologist. You have to apply for grant. So it's a lengthy process. If you go to public school system, then they take long too because it's public. It's free. But I did everything. I tried to do private. I tried to do public. Jo jaldi ho jaye. So in that race, I got to learn a lot. And there's unlimited resources that I got for him. I just had to choose, pick. Once I had the grants, I needed to choose where do I take him.
So what was the official diagnosis, Jessica?
ADHD, learning dyslexia.
Okay.
So these are main challenges, and to me it wasn't like जब मुझे पता चला कि ADHD है चलो क्या होगा, but it's really a problem for these children because you would think ADHD है कुछ भी नहीं है. Because ADHD, but it's really not a big deal.
And it's like a term that we throw around a lot. People are like, usko attention ka issue, and not realizing that, okay, you're not supposed to throw these terms around.
Yes.
They're proper diagnostic tools. But like every time I go to PTMs or I talk to moms, a lot of moms are like, everything's fine, but other teachers saying कि हमारे बच्चे को attention का issue, and I was like, because teachers को भी नहीं ना पता कि एक 3 साल के बच्चे का attention span होना ही 15 मिनट चाहिए. So when you say attention issue, you're expecting too much.
Physically उनको आपने structure में आप उन्हें बिठा ही नहीं सकते. Like,
exactly.
Of course, they're not going to thrive in that environment. Yeah. But
so once you got the diagnosis, then you began getting
then I
therapies.
Began getting
what kind of therapies?
Therapies में यही होता है कि आपको behavior चाहिए होता है. So because he had speech delayed, so उसने कुछ behaviors ऐसे सीख लिए हुए थे जो therapist interventions के through आपके खत्म होते हैं. You know, where you teach him patience, you teach him turn taking, sharing, how to be more tolerant and be able to make friends and socialize. So उसके साथ साथ आपको speech, because उसकी speech तो थी, but he was like कुछ words उसके clear नहीं थे, vocabulary कम थी, so speech की ज़रूरत थी. साथ साथ occupational not, but obstacle gym is what that really worked for him. Because उसमें भी ये होता है कि एक जिम में आपकी फिजिकल मूवमेंट हो रही है, आपके मोटर, कॉग्निटिव, हर किस्म के स्किल्स पे काम हो रहा है, प्लस you're playing and you're doing things in sequence and you don't even realize it. For these kids, it's hard to do things in sequence. You know, a lot of these kids, they just wanna get things done. They don't care कि वो एक लाइन में steps के साथ एक process चल रहा है, उसको आपने उस step से complete करना है. They just wanna do it the way they wanna do it. So you teach them. So ये सब चीजें हम अपने center में भी लाए. I have put together an ops. So whatever worked for him there, that's what I am trying to do. So पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त ADHD पे नहीं काम होता.
Absolutely.
Awareness नहीं है, and it is a huge.
And I also feel denial. Don't you feel that even when, like, I'm a doctor, right, not a psychologist, so an MBBS. So even I can sometimes tell when, like, I'm interacting with a child, okay, there is like eye contact issue here, but obviously I never bring it up to the mom. But I also feel the moms are in complete denial.
They're overlooking.
Jabki a lot of these things can be resolved with early interventions.
They can be. That is where I come in. That's what I want to do. I want to tell these moms that it's okay, because it's a growing problem. It's better that you recognize it, you find your child the right help, and help में ये है कि थोड़ा सा उसको channel करना है आपने. आप इसको accept करेंगी तो आप आगे से accept, because हमारे यहाँ पे problem क्या है? हमारे यहाँ पे joint family system की problem है. So it's not like you and your husband or mom and dad have to align. It's like the whole family structure has to align.
And they generally, dado nano to would be like,
they want to spoil, right? Because that's the instinct. So if there is a child who you're trying to discipline a certain way, you're trying to work on their gut, their health, because all of these
linked.
factors are linked.
Absolutely.
So your food, the social media, TV.
Yeah.
अब एक बच्चा आपने कंट्रोल किया हुआ है कि वो ये टीवी का टाइम है, हाफ एन आवर है, ठीक है, अगर आपकी दादो नीचे रह रही हैं या साथ रह रही हैं तो वो कहेगा ठीक है, नहीं माम नहीं कर रही, आप
दादो
देखें, वो दादो के साथ चैनल चेंज करेगा, उसका फोन ले ले. So this is where family alignment is so important.
And awareness.
And
Get the damage this does. Like
everyone has to first accept.
Yeah.
Only then you can help.
Yeah.
Acceptance is the key.
Yes.
जो कि बहुत मुश्किल है.
Absolutely.
I see it everywhere. I see my story and others' story, and they all
Have common.
are common. And हम लोगों ने एक program भी बनाया हुआ है अपना, and it's Mom Circle. We do it every Friday from 5 to 6, and it's not just for moms with ADHD or neurodiverse children. It's for all moms, because every mom has a challenge.
Yes.
Because of the new way of, this is Gen Z. I don't even know the names.
Yeah.
But this new generation is going through a lot, and every mom needs to get together and get out of your typical circle of your friends and go out and meet with new people. Absolutely. And learn and grow, so that you can bring change in your own family and in your own lives. Self-awareness is so important, because for me it took me a long time. When I went to US and I breathe, जब मुझे help मिल गई तो तब मैंने थोड़ा breathe किया, and then I realized that the chaos was in my head. There was so much chaos that I was going down, and to find help for my child I had to be stable, psychologically, mentally, in every possible way. So for moms, because moms kya hain, they are
the advocates,
they are the advocates. No, वो हर चीज़ ही है ना, वो ही पैदा कर रही हैं, वो ही उसको raise कर रही है, वो खाना बना रही हैं घर में, they are handling the house. They are the ones that are judged. They are the first people that are judged, inside and outside. बहन, भाई, माँ, बाप, husband, सास, everyone is judging you, right? If your child is misbehaving,
it's always the mom that's blamed. Always.
So you are under so much pressure, and then you're out there in the society, and if your child is misbehaving, you feel like, oh my God,
I failed.
I just want to tell you, let it go. Let them misbehave. Don't take so much stress. So we have this circle where we connect, we talk about different struggles, how we overcome them, how self-healing and self-love is so important, So that is the mission. And I love that I'm doing this, because it makes me feel like कि कुछ ना कुछ change तो आएगी, कहीं से तो शुरू होनी चाहिए. हमारे public sector में, हमारी education, जितने भी educational sectors हैं, सब में inclusivity आनी चाहिए for all kinds of neurodiverse children. And there should be job placements. हमारे parks should be equipped with, any kind of यहाँ पे तो कुछ नहीं है. Qatar is अब Middle East में awareness आ रही है. They're saying we're autism friendly states. उसका मतलब क्या है? उसका मतलब यही है कि आपके work space में, आपके restaurants में, आपके schools में, it is now important, and it needs to be, there needs to be space for these kids. And 80% of our private and public schools are not offering inclusion.
So Saima, coming back to your son, though, when you took him to the US, were you also able to find a school for him? Did he go to a special school or a regular school?
So initially he went to public school, because I needed all kinds of assessments and diagnoses and IEPs for private schools. Private schools में मैंने फिर finally उसको school में डाला, और उस school का नाम था The First Hope Academy. And I told her, I'm taking your name because this is what I want to bring to my country. That's where he told me the first time. He said, Mom, everybody loves me here. And I'm happy, I have friends. So
And this was a private school or a
this
private
was a
school for
private
special needs
school.
children?
This was a private school, a really big private school. They have a department which is
SNL.
SNL. So it's a mainstream school, but then the kids have special, according to their needs. उन्होंने उनके लिए एक special structure किया है जिसमें वो उनको group activities कराते हैं where they connect with kids. He's like, everybody's like me, mama. So like his friend, he couldn't read like he couldn't read. So he did not feel that he was any less. So this is very important. This educate तो आप कर ही देंगे बच्चे को. उसकी self esteem और उसकी confidence पे is what is lacking in most of the schools. These are the kids who get bullied. These are the kids who feel, less.
Yeah, but then I was even reading the ADHD kids are more susceptible to depression, anxiety,
and
suicidal
drugs.
ideation,
And
drugs.
आपके स्कूलों में, drugs. These are the kids who, because इनका focus इतना strong होता है, and these are the kids that thrive. They change nations.
It just depends on what they're getting.
And how you channel them. आपने बस उनको help, bring them help.
At the
First,
right time.
recognize what it is and find help at the right time. The earlier you start. I wish I started at the age 3 when मुझे लग रहा था मेरी instincts, but as a typical person, I didn't even know what ADHD was until very late, So just with awareness, with advocacy, we can, जितना हम इस बारे में बात कर सकें, डिस्कशन कर सकें, उतनी अवेयरनेस आएगी.
So how is your son doing now with all the help, interventions?
Because I started late, it's a slow process, but at least he's on his way.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me now, you want to bring everything that helped your son. You have brought to Lahore.
Yes.
And so your center is specifically for ADHD or also for autism, sensory global delays?
Yes. My center is for, सबसे पहले तो it's for neurotypical and neurodiverse. So it's not just for kids with autism and spectrum. It's a learning center. So we have a learning program for early intervention. So if your child is not up to the standard of regular schools and you want to bring him some extra intervention, you can bring. We have early learners program. Then we have learner programs for those kids who are delayed. They don't have any symptoms. They don't have ADHD. They don't have autism, but they're just delayed.
So speech delay,
reading delay,
vocabulary
उसके लिए
delays.
हमारा program है. And then we have therapist in-house. So we have all in one, everything under one roof, so that the mothers, the fathers don't have to run from one center to another. कि अब हम speech कराने जा रहे हैं, अब हम इधर जा रहे हैं, बच्चे, they're in one place. We also have gym. We have yoga, we have taekwondo, we have everything that we can bring in one center. We are offering all of those programs.
So at First Hope, what all are you offering, Saima?
So जो सबसे important चीज़ जो मेरी life में मैंने जो struggle की है वो ये है कि जब मैंने अपने बच्चे को किसी स्कूल में डालने की कोशिश की, the school said they don't have a program. And some schools that did have the program, they said they don't have enough space. They can only provide certain shadow teachers with 3 kids. But the teachers were not trained. The teachers are not trained to screen out these children. The teachers are not trained to work with these children. So we want to provide. We are in the process. हमारी काफ़ी schools से बात, educational institutions से बात भी चल रही है for teacher trainings. So we provide them training how to screen these kids, how to work with these kids, and shadow teacher trainings, which is very important because the school simply says to the mom, we need a shadow teacher, go find a shadow teacher.
वो कहाँ से मिले? I know.
Parents, as a parent, you're like, what? What?
Yeah.
And then there
and
will
these
be
shadow
always-
teachers are quite expensive and
They are
apparently
expensive.
not well trained. So
Yeah.
a lot of the parents who have special needs children, are just helpless.
And then what
Without
happens is the shadow teacher comes, you're paying double, you're paying
Yeah.
the school and the shadow teacher, but teacher ki responsibility khatam ho jati hai. Now you're completely dependent on the shadow teacher.
who's not trained.
Who's not trained. So we are providing trainings for the shadow teachers, and parents can come to us and we can accommodate them. We are providing parent training and caregiver trainings because हमारे यहाँ पे caregivers and parents don't have time. Most of the kids are left on maids
Yes,
and
maids, yeah.
nannies. So we even provide the
That's
nanny
amazing.
training and parent training. That's like a huge thing because with the child, we can give him as much therapy, but at home, if nobody is trained how to work with this child, nothing changes.
Or how to handle
How to
temper.
handle.
So that's amazing.
Yes, thank you. I mean, that's our program.
And do you
that's-
also provide diagnosis? Like,
Yes.
so when children come to you with delays, you have.
Yes, we
So
are
what
providing-
has the response been? And do you still feel that in Pakistan, maybe denial and ignorance are massive
Huge.
obstacles?
Huge. Response is good. Parents that come, they just come to test. Kuch aaye hain, they said we're gonna see it for 3-4 days, and they ended up staying. They signed for 6 months, and we've got good feedback. We are working with, basically, I am the face because I created it and I'm here in Pakistan, but I am not just me. I am working with a huge team that is behind me of educationalists, psychologists from US. We are linked with Eastside ABA Center, which has been practiced in Seattle for last 14 years. So everything that we are designing here, each child that's in our center is like a case study, you can call it. उसकी पूरी diagnosis, उसका IEP plan, उसके goals, everything is set by our US team, and they are being trained to our local therapist here. So जो हमारे therapist भी हैं, उनको हमने एक हद तक पुराने system से unlearn करवा के new ways,
Yeah.
updated ways के साथ हमने उनको ये practices में डाला है, and we are open, we want to collaborate, and we are offering to other centers to avail this opportunity. We can train their therapists because एक center से क्या, मेरा छोटा सा है, we need to all be connected.
Yeah.
Because there is 600,000 children diagnosed with ADHD in Lahore only right now.
Yeah. And so many are undiagnosed.
And so many are undiagnosed. And neurodiversity and depression. We are providing counseling for girls and boys who are going through depressions, neurotypical kids. So schools can avail that from us. Different centers can come collaborate with us so we can tell them of our practices. We have delegation from US, they come here, they train therapists. So we have like a huge team that we are bringing here in Pakistan, and we are on a mission. We want to bring awareness, bridge the gap, and literally work on this because it's a growing problem. And it's not going to end if people are not aware.
Yeah.
Medication is not the answer. And just once things are out of your control, then it's very difficult to handle it.
Absolutely.
So early intervention is the key.
So Saima, the sad part I feel with with children who are on the spectrum is that in Pakistan, only the kids born to like the upper class can even dream of having like occupational therapies, speech therapies, etc. And most of the kids who go to government schools or whose parents can't afford, since there's no state support.
Mhm.
So are you, which is very different from the US obviously, in the
Yes.
US every child
Yeah.
is provided with these things.
Mhm.
So are you going to try and like somehow help the government school kids or help children who can't afford it?
Yes, that's a very good question, and I'm glad you brought it up. So our main purpose is to bring awareness not to just the elite, even though we are sitting in Raya, in defense.
Yeah.
The purpose was to bring in a center which is very, very good, and it has everything state of the art. But we are not limited to the elite. We are working with the government for non-profit, underserved schools. We are bringing in a structure which is like the US, where you get grants and scholarships. So we can cater to these children too. So we are working on that program as well. And we are already in talks with a lot of schools. We're going to go in there, we're going to do free screening, and we're going to get them scholarship programs, and that's also in the works, inshallah.
And I think that's a massive need.
Yes,
because so many of children who can be helped don't even get diagnosis.
No, they don't. Yeah.
And Saima, as a mom, what do you still have like big fears for your son, or have you now realized that he's going to carve out his own path? Or is it a mixture of like both?
You know, as a mom, I think every mom has a fear.
Yeah.
You know, but then you have to let it go. You try to do the best you can, make them independent, make them good human beings, honest, and just get them the help that they need, and then leave it to Allah. You know, that's what I say. So, you know, if you even have a thriving child, you still have fear.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
So the fear is always there. That's why I say that we want to hold on to our fears, and we don't want to find help for ourselves. So I'm the biggest advocate for moms. I feel like let them be, let them find their own way. And for moms, I say find yourself first. You know, start self-love, self-healing, and let go. Some things that are not in your control, just let it go. It will come together on its own. As long as you're finding help, as long as you're working towards it, you're on a path. You're on the right path.
Yeah. What's your biggest dream for your son?
Okay, so my biggest dream is that he's happy, and that's it. That he's happy in his life. He's made friends. Whatever he wants to do, he's happy. Isn't that everyone's dream?
Yeah.
Right? So that's my dream.
But did it take a lot of internal work to not judge him by the way society judges our kids, which is grades and medals and trophies and leadership? You know, there's like a very narrow way in which we judge. अच्छा ये बच्चा successful है and is the mother successful? Did it take you like a lot of unlearning?
It did. Last 2 years that I was in US, I did a lot of unlearning. It took me a long time to just accept and, you know, make it work, and not try to do what is not possible. Just take one day at a time. It does take a lot. And even for neurotypical kids, we have so many expectations that we are not letting the child be who he is or who she is. So that is a challenge for us, because in today's world, we are in a race to, you know, thrive and do much. Just provide time. Give your children time and get them off social media.
Yeah.
That's like,
absolutely.
Yes, get them off screens, physical activity, make them go play, connect with them. That's what they need. That's the biggest challenge that we have, because हम खुद नहीं social media और phone से उतरते.
Yeah.
You know, so that was my challenge to give him time, give them time. And we're all juggling, you know, we're all trying to find time for the kids. But that's what the kids need.
Yeah. And what would you say to like another mom who's struggling, still doesn't have a diagnosis, is maybe where you were when your son was 3?
I would say come to me, connect with me, and I will tell you, or my team will guide you. That's what I would say. If you are, or go anywhere. Just get out of your circle and go outside your circle, outside your bubble, and try to look at a picture, a bigger picture. Not just, you know, stay in that circle and keep going around that circle. Just look outside your bubble, get help, find like-minded people or similar people who are going through it. And if you don't know, connect with somebody who knows and get help for yourself and for your child.
Great. But thank you so much, Saima, for taking our time to talk to us, for being so candid, and also for bringing like First Hope to Lahore. I really hope more and more parents find out about it, so they're able to access all these facilities.
Thank you for having me, and it's always good talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to add the details of First Hope so you can reach out to them, go see their facilities, maybe go for a free assessment and see if they are providing exactly what your child needs. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.